I'm Quarraisha Abdool Karim. I'm Associate Scientific Director of the Center for the AIDS Program of Research in South Africa. At CAPRISA, our focus is on HIV-AIDS, and we're basically trying to answer two questions. How do we prevent HIV infection in young women? And two, how do we prevent people dying from HIV-TB co-infection? And in the context of the HIV epidemic in Africa, the single biggest challenge that we face in terms of preventing infection of HIV is the high rates of infection in adolescent girls and young women. If we take HIV, it is found in every country around the world, but a disproportionate amount of HIV, in fact 70%, is in Africa. And I come from the province of KwaZulu-Natal in South Africa, which is on the east coast, and here the epidemic is particularly severe. So my focus on AIDS is not only because it's a global challenge, but because it's very much a problem facing us in the part of South Africa where I live. And just some indication is by age 16, in many communities, 1 in 10 of the women are already infected with HIV. By age 20, it's 1 in 3. By age 25, it's every other woman. And in fact, in Africa, about 35% of our population is under the age of 35. And a big concern that we have is when you have HIV or it's starting to impact this the population at a very young age and a very young population. So it will have many implications beyond health, but more in terms of what will people be able to do in our, and this is common across Africa, sub-Saharan Africa. It's a problem for us in Africa in that we have the majority of the infections there. We've seen a demographic transition in our population where we have lots of young people, and we need to be able to alter it so that young people can realize their potential and make their contributions to society in whatever facet or aspect of life. Firstly, I think African governments need to invest more in science. I think that when African scientists go outside of Africa to study, it's a very important opportunity because we learn about things in a different way, we learn about new things, but I also feel it's a privilege to have that opportunity. And we have to, as people who have that opportunity, feel a responsibility to come back to Africa and make a difference. But I think, one, it has to come from yourself that you want to make a difference. But two, governments can make that environment more supportive. And I feel we don't value science enough as governments in Africa. We don't invest enough. And our ability to transform Africa really depends on moving from resource-based economies to knowledge-based economies. Knowledge-based economies means investing in science, investing in knowledge generation. And I think those two things, that if Africans can maintain their curiosity, use science to bring about change and change the many challenges that face Africa and be supported at the political level, then I think we have a good formula for moving forward constructively.